I've been in the life insurance business for only 3 years now. I've used this opportunity to scale my income from $14,000 a year to so far $150,000 this past year. And while working on my business, I've also doubled down on my fitness goals. And I was recently able to hit 3 personal goals that I've had for myself since, all the way back since high school. And what I've learned along the way is that whether you're working on your business or your fitness, the process is the same. The same principles that drive success in fitness are the exact same ones that drive it in business as well. In this video, I want to share 6 lessons that I've learned in the gym that have directly helped me grow my business. They've helped me grow my income and also helped me work on my mindset. Now, and by the way, I was supposed to come out and record this video sooner. Hopefully I can finish this before the sun really goes down, because some of y'all might remember what happened last time I was out on a walk after dark. All right, so gym lesson number 1. Good things take time. So that's one thing that seems to be true everywhere that I look. Whether you're trying to work on fitness, whether you're trying to, make more money, trying to start a business, everybody's always looking for the quick fix, right? For the shortcut. Reality is there are no shortcuts. Whatever you're trying to do, the work has to be done. And it's like I always say, if whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, if it were easy, it wouldn't even be worth pursuing. That's by definition, that's what defines excellence. And it's what separates you from the rest, right? Separates you from the average, the mediocre. So whatever it is that you're pursuing, the work has to be done. And there are no shortcuts. There is no easy way out. It's just, you have to grind it out. Now, are there ways to be efficient? Absolutely. You can take certain supplements. You can do the right workouts. Having a gym membership versus not having one, right? It'd be more efficient to have one for most people. You still have to do all of the work. It just helps you get there faster, but you still got to do the damn work. You still got to do it. And again, in sales and business, is there a way to be more efficient? Absolutely. Having the right script, having the right mentor, having good coaching, having a CRM, having a power dialer. You can use AI automation software. You can, there's a ton of things that you can do to use as leverage for your business and be more efficient. But at the end of the day, guess what? You still got to do the work. You still got to call the leads. The highest quality lead is still not going to call itself. The best CRM in the world is not going to make the sale for you. You still got to show up, and you have to, and you got to be consistent, right? You don't just get to show up to the gym 2 weeks in a row, 6 weeks in a row, and see massive results. Are you kidding me? It takes time. You've got to show up consistently. You've got to do the right things again and again and again for months to a year before you can see any significant results. And this is the same way. A lot of people come in and they think they're going to be a millionaire overnight. Yeah, right. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes a lot of hard fucking work. And that's the first lesson that I've learned in fitness that has really crossed over for me inside of business. Lesson number 2, focus on actions, not results. So it's funny, while I'm recording this video, we're still pretty early on into the year. We just had the new year pretty recently. And like every other year, everyone's got their New Year's resolutions. The gym is packed for the first week of the year. And it really does piss me off every time, because even just hearing the goals that people set for themselves, even the way that they set their goals is all fucked up. Because think about it, we hear the same goals all the time.
This year I want to lose weight. This year I want to make more money. This year I want to do this, I want to do that.
But here's the problem about setting goals this way. It's like, I actually talked about this in another video where I talked about how, having goals doesn't make you special. Writing them down means nothing because everyone has them. But it's just so funny to me because people don't even know how to set goals, let alone hit them. Again, we hear the same ones all the time. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. But the thing is, you don't just lose weight. You show up to the gym, maybe start weighing out or counting calories, or start in some way, shape, or form, pay attention to the amount of food that you're eating. You allow your body enough time to recover, and those things in turn will cause you to lose weight. You don't just lose the weight, you do the things that help you lose the weight. Same with making money. I want to make more money this year. Well, you don't just make money, right? You find someone that's willing to trade money for your time or for your value or for your services, whatever it is that you might have to offer. Just follow through on what you promise, and in exchange they give you money. And then you just do it again and again and again, and then eventually at scale, and that's how you make more fucking money. Oh fucking Christ. God, these fucking dogs. But the problem is, a lot of times people get so focused on the goal itself, and that's all that they think about, but they don't even consider, well, where do I start? What are the things that I can actually do to hit this goal? And it's like a lot of times, it's almost like they're hoping that if they just say it enough times and hope it or manifest it enough, it's going to come true. Listen, man, if you want to live in that kind of delusion where you believe you can just manifest things into existence, by all means, do what you got to do. But the reality is, it's not how this stuff works. You got to make shit happen. So if right now you have a goal and you really want to hit that goal, stop thinking about the goal itself and just commit to the actions that are required for you to get there. Hold yourself accountable to that. And that in turn will cause you to hit your goal. All right, lesson number 3. The game is all mental. You can always go harder than you think. So that's one thing about the gym that's kind of a trip is, you're pushing yourself physically, but really a lot of the workout itself is just as much mental as it is physical. If you've ever worked out with someone who like competes or just a real fucking gym rat, you have learned when your body or when your mind tells you that you're ready to quit, and when you think you have no more reps in the tank, you actually have 1, maybe even 2 more. It's crazy. It really is a mental thing, and our mind tricks us into believing that we don't have anything left in the tank, and it does that to protect us, right, from just overexerting ourselves and whatever. It's science, right? Whatever else the fuck it's supposed to do that for. But the reality is you can always go harder. Matter of fact, Arnold's I'm just gonna say the Terminator guy, because it's always hard for me to say his last name, and I don't want to risk it. So Arnold the Terminator guy, I saw an old video when he was really at his prime of bodybuilding and competing, and he was mentoring a younger bodybuilder, and in the middle of a lift, I think he was just curling or something. I don't remember what the workout was. The younger dude is ready to put the weight down, and Arnold says, hey, when it starts to hurt, when you start to feel that pain and you start to feel like you can't do anymore, that's when the workout starts. So Arnold doesn't even count, or didn't. I don't know what he does now, but back then wouldn't even count reps until he started to feel like he was, past failure, until he started to feel that strain on his muscle, until he started to feel that pain. And dude, business is the same freaking thing. A lot of times we think we're on the edge, or we think we're past our limits. We think we can only work so hard, work so intense for a certain amount of time. And the reality is you're capable of more than you think. And the even harsher reality is that when you start to feel that pressure in your business, when you start to find yourself in that valley of despair, when you start to get bored, when you start to get tired, when you start to get desperate, that's when the actual work begins. Because see, anything before that, like when you're new, for example, when someone comes into sales, or when someone joins, gets their license for the first time, they're fired up, they're motivated, right? Because it's new and it's exciting to them. But then what happens is when they find themselves doing the same thing over and over and over again, and just facing rejection after rejection after rejection, that's where they start to want to quit. That's when a lot of the competition starts dropping off. And that is when the work begins. All right, lesson number 4. Recovery is important, but a lot of people don't have that problem. So burnout is absolutely a real thing, just like overtraining is in fitness, right? And so gym rats, if they train hard enough, they'll actually plan what are called deload weeks, which are essentially, intentional rest weeks. They might take a week off the gym, or when someone's like on a really strict diet, they might plan for cheat meals. So it's an essential part of the process. However, what I've learned in fitness and hanging around other people that work out is that very few people actually ever train hard enough or diet strictly enough, whatever, for those kind of breaks to be effective, let alone necessary. A lot of people will work out, 3 times a week and then say, oh, I'm overtrained, I want to take a break this week. When the reality is that your body can take 6, maybe even 7 days a week, without taking any breaks. And the same with cheat meals. I mean, I see people, planning cheat meals, but it's like, dude, you don't even follow your diet 100% of the time. Like, you're cheating every day. And the same thing applies here. Yes, burnout is absolutely real and it can definitely happen, but it's rarely ever truly caused by the work itself. People usually burn out because of one of 3 things. Maybe they're just working, doing something that they do not like, they do not enjoy. It means absolutely nothing to them. And there's no end goal, there's nothing to work up to or to work towards. All right, so that happens a lot like at jobs. If you're working a job that you absolutely hate and you don't really feel like it's, helping you progress in your career, then, it's really easy to burn out that way. Another cause can be, when they're just not being careful or cautious with where they're spending their time and energy, so they're letting other things drain them of their energy that are not really moving them forward in life or in anything. And then the third thing is that they could just have a false expectation altogether of what work is actually supposed to feel like. So they think they're burnt out, but really it's just because they've never really had to challenge themselves in anything in their life. And it's like, well, this is what hard feels like. But again, it's extremely rare for someone to actually burn out from the work itself, because again, 9 times out of 10, you are capable of way more than you really think you are. All right, lesson number 5. You become who you surround yourself with. So one of our top closers, Leanne, actually about a year ago now, is when we had invited her to to come and stay with us. And so when she first came out, Alyssa and I would push her, and we would try to get her to come to the gym with us. And she just wouldn't budge. Like every single week, right? We're going multiple times a week. Every time we would go, we would invite her to go with us. And actually one day we got her to go. She caught a workout with us. She said it was great. She said she had a great time. But then we invited her the next day and she didn't want to go. She said, that was good enough. I'm sore. This, just made up a bunch of excuses. So eventually I gave up. And I said, whatever. Every time we ask her, she says no. I don't think it's going to happen. Just let her be, right? Let her do her thing. We're going to keep going. Then one day, out of the blue, actually I think it was her birthday, so I remember asking her, hey Leanne, what do you want for your birthday? The first thing that comes out is she says, well, maybe you can take me to the gym again. And I was like, what? Okay, absolutely, let's go. I've been trying to tell you for months. She goes, yeah, but I think I'm finally ready. I think it's I really want to start going. And so long story short, it's been about 3 months now. She's dropped about 30 pounds. It might be 20 to 30 pounds. Not only does she go to the gym with us, but I see her counting her calories. She's weighing all her food out. She goes for her walks every day, just trying to get her steps in. And you know how many times I have to remind her or hold her accountable in some way? Zero. Absolutely zero. She's doing it all on her own. Now, why did that happen? Right? Why the sudden shift? How did it go from us trying to push her and she just wouldn't budge to next thing you know, hey, this is what I want for my birthday. I want to start going to the gym, and then just goes all out and makes massive progress in just a few months. How do you get from there to there? Well, it's because when Leanne first came out, she was one person. Then what happens is she wakes up every day, sees Alyssa and I, do our routine, go to the gym, weigh out our food, talk about our fitness goals. And as Leanne is just constantly surrounded by, that kind of conversation and by that energy, eventually she develops this natural inclination to adapt to her environment. Because that's what happens. Us as humans, we adapt. So, Leanne just being around that all the time, subconsciously, she one day feels like, hey, maybe I should be doing this too. Because if she doesn't, then she becomes the outsider. You could say, hey, I don't give a fuck about what people think. It's a human instinct to want to fit into our environment. It's a human instinct. It is what it is. And that's how it goes, right? There's the old saying, if you surround yourself with 4 dummies, you're going to be the 5th. We adapt to the environments that we're surrounded by. And that's the reason that I decided to move to Kentucky, when I was seeking mentorship from Roger, when I wanted to learn how to sell freaking final expense. That's why I decided to move to Dallas, my first time around in the industry, because that's where my mentor wanted to live. And I'm like, hey, I'll move in with you if, you can just teach me everything that you know. And it works. It works every time. Don't get me wrong. You still got to do the work, right? You can't just have 5 rich friends and then hope that the money starts pouring in. No. You still got to show up and do the work. But that's the thing, is that when you surround yourself with these people, you start to see their day-to-day. You start to compare yourselves to them a bit. And eventually, you'll start to behave the same way. And it's those behaviors, right? Like we said earlier, it's those behaviors that will lead to the outcome. And finally, lesson number 6, that which you don't measure, you can't manage. So studies have shown that if you, let's say for example, you wanted to help somebody lose weight, you can literally tell them nothing besides just getting them to weigh themselves every day. And when people weigh themselves every day, they lose weight. It's crazy. That's it. They lose weight. And it's simply because they're paying more attention to it. And the same thing applies here. If you start tracking your profit, your profit will improve. If you start tracking your close rate and you're not already tracking it, well, then your close rate will get better. And like in that example, let's say you're tracking your close rate. The reason it can get better is because you can now use common sense. You can say, hey, well, I noticed that when I say this on a sales call, I tend to close more. That when I use this lead versus that lead, I make more money. And it's just because you tracked it. Right? You're able to make better decisions when you track. Because if you don't track, how else would you make decisions? Well, in that case, the only thing you can really base your decisions off of is how you feel, your emotions. And where the fuck is that going to take you? For example, it's hard to notice progress in yourself as you're going through it. But then let's say you take progress pictures. You look at the first one versus the most recent one. You start to see the difference. But let's say you didn't have that and you weren't weighing yourself every day. Then it's easy to feel like, well, I don't really think I'm making any progress, right? Until you can actually see it. In business, it's easy to make a few phone calls and go, hey, I just worked a few hours, didn't make anything. This business sucks. But then you track it and you realize, oh shoot, I barely made any dials and I guess I spent most of my time just fucking around on my desk. All right, so when you track, when you measure, you can base your decisions off of logic, off of reality, and in turn you can make better decisions. You can make more money.